increase the numerator, but to reduce the denominator and get rid of those students who aren't likely to graduate. Well, that's easily taken care of if you say our goal is greater equity, and so we will pay for more achievement on the equity front. So you can work this all through, and many states have done that. Tennessee's done it in a very complex way. Colorado has done it in a very simple, straightforward way, but there are certainly ways in which a state can do that. One of the dilemmas I think you've got is who does that for you? There is no responsible group. The three systems work very well together, I think, but they don't have a responsibility for establishing those goals together. The legislature has tried to do this in special sessions or special groups and has come forward with things, but that isn't there. The governor's not engaged in that. I think one of the dilemmas you have is you're one of about 2 states in the country that don't have some way, either through governance or coordination, to bring ideas together and to fashion the state's public agenda.
And then just 2 very brief follow-ups. So let's assume that happens, which I think sounds like it should happen before anything else happens. But I was interested in the partnership that you're proposing, and I was curious as to your opinion as to whether or not an additional partner ought to be the state and UC system. That is, we've held forth on the community colleges, and it seems like that's our biggest problem. But when you talk about the partnership, is there any way that we can include, that we can have the 3 separate components of our higher education system work in partnership together in a better way to enhance funding? Is there a way to tie the results of the community college to the funding of the state and UC system that would be beneficial?
Well, that's interesting. I haven't really put that one together. That'd be an interesting one to think through. And I don't want to give you an answer because I haven't thought it through.
Well, looking at your list of partners, it seems to me the one partner that I would want for each of those institutions are the other 2. Right? That's what the master plan called for. So is there a way to tie funding?
Yeah. A very, very interesting concept.
I give it to you as a Writers Guild contribution. And then finally, this issue of the money we're leaving on the table that the federal government would be giving to us. Is there any, you talk about tough love, is there a brutal love version that says that if you qualify and don't pursue the Pell Grant tax rebate, you can't come here unless you come up with your own form of income or your own form of paying for it?
Well, what I think you can certainly do is you can require that students apply for financial aid, and some states require that all students fill out the FAFSA so that they know whether they're eligible or not. And I don't know of any student who's eligible for a Pell and says, I'd rather not take that.
And California could do that?
Yeah, you could do that. The tax credit is more difficult because it's really just a benefit that comes to them. They'd be damn fools not to take advantage of it if they could. And one of the things you could do is help them understand the value of that and to share that kind of information with the student and or his parents.
Because if the state of California contracted out with a for-profit organization that got some percentage of the money that they got for the community college by getting people to fill out these forms,